Thanks for staying with us. 2 years back, Seed Academy conducted South Africa's largest entrepreneurial survey, the Real State of Entrepreneurship in South Africa 2017. The survey canvassed over 1,200 entrepreneurs at any stage of the business development to understand the nature of the challenges faced by entrepreneurs in key areas such as access to funding, business support and skills development. South Africa needs to significantly scale and improve the efficiency of SME funding, especially in light of the fact that most early stage business funding requirements are below 100,000. In addition, further research indicates that while it is critically important to encourage new entrepreneurs, it's equally important to provide support to growing SMEs, which only start to meaningfully contribute to job creation when they grow to 2 million or more in turnover. We're now joined by Vusani Ravele, who is an entrepreneur and a judge in the Firstwatch Entrepreneurs Challenge. For more, welcome and thanks for making the time to come through.
Thank you for having me.
What is the Firstwatch Entrepreneurial Challenge?
So the Firstwatch Entrepreneurial Challenge is basically, as it sounds, Firstwatch, the whiskey maker, has decided that they want to empower entrepreneurs within South Africa. They are basically giving away 50,000 Rand worth of support towards an entrepreneur out of a selection of 100 entrepreneurs in order to start their business, continue their business and ultimately become successful. That's in a nutshell what they're doing here.
Are there any specific sectors they're focusing on?
There are no specific sectors. The main thing is to uplift previously disadvantaged areas or entrepreneurs who wouldn't necessarily have access to funding and mentorship, and uplift them from a point where they're not able to access any of the market and any of the support that they need within the market, and to uplift them and push them forward. But it's open to all of the different sectors.
You speak of market access and other people speak about financing. What are the main challenges facing entrepreneurs?
Well, I think you hit it on the head. Financing is definitely a big challenge, but also the understanding or lack thereof of what financing is supposed to do for a business.
Because sometimes people have access to finance, but they still can't reach market.
100%. There's a myth, out there that funding will solve all of your problems. Once the money's in your bank. It's not true, because you still have to have a system which basically puts it into a washing machine and brings cash out at the end of the day. So people don't get that. You can get the funding, but if you don't have that washing machine system to make the money, then you're in big trouble.
So who are you funding? How are they accessing you? And do you have any good stories to tell in terms of what has come out so far?
So this is the first time that Firstwatch Whiskey is approaching South Africans to do this entrepreneurial program.
Okay.
It's going to be happening, so people can go onto Firstwatch's website, which is firstwatchentrepreneurship.co.za, and they can apply. They're going to basically take on 100 people on there. And obviously these people are now going to have to pitch on the 27th and the 28th of April, and from there they're going to select 10 people who are going to then pitch within April, and those 10 people, we're going to basically select one winner who's then going to receive that 50,000 Rand worth of funding, mentorship and a whole bunch of other benefits.
What if the person who wins has a scale project and 50,000 does not suffice?
Sure. So I believe that everything is negotiable. It might not be written in print, but Firstwatch obviously wants to push these entrepreneurs as far as possible. I do think there will be an opportunity to negotiate or discuss, further funding. I think that's definitely not out of the question.
So once you have the database of the 100 aspiring entrepreneurs, although they don't go on to win the main prize, what do you do with those other ideas that have come through?
So there are different tiers within the winners. So it's not just one winner. The next, I believe it's the next 5 to 10 entrepreneurs after that are going to receive corporate identity assistance. So their logos, business cards, etc., etc. And then there will be other benefits for the remaining entrepreneurs. It's essentially there to empower. It's not just about the money. It's there to pass on knowledge and pass on some experience that they wouldn't necessarily get.
You're running this project, but you're an entrepreneur yourself from Native Decor. Tell us about Vusani Ravele and your journey through this road of entrepreneurship.
I wish I could say that I was running the Firstwatch Entrepreneurship program, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just basically assisting in facilitating and passing on knowledge. Native Decor was basically a business whereby my girlfriend bought me a lovely Valentine's Day gift in 2015.
A love story.
Yeah, it was a cordless drill. So, you know, I couldn't stop drilling holes into things. And
what was she suggesting?
Well, I think she was suggesting that I start making some really cool stuff,
in the house or something.
Get off the couch and get to work.
Yeah.
And then the following year in 2016, after I turned this into a business which was making money.
All right. I was giggling along your story there, and I think the viewer might have lost the story along the way.
Sure.
Take us back. She bought you the gift ad?
Yeah. So I started drilling holes into things, making things, and then eventually I decided I wanted to turn it into a business.
Okay.
You know, I live in a 2-bedroom flat, and basically I had bought a whole bunch of machinery, and one in particular, which is like quite a big machine called a CNC machine. And it was in my living room. There was dust everywhere. You wouldn't actually believe that this is a living environment, you know, at the time. But, you know...
How far we've come.
Really. I mean, the next year I got the investment deal on Mnet Shark Tank, and that basically...
So a similar competition.
Similar competition.
So you know
you're still pitching.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is why my involvement, I suppose, is relevant, because I've been in a pitching environment. I left my 9-to-5 job to start, you know, this business, which has now been going for almost 3 years strong, full time, and is making a profit and successful. So I think it's a good match, you know, for me to be able to assist.
Absolutely.
You know, up and coming entrepreneurs.
When you're an entrepreneur developing an idea, do you even place emphasis on pitching? And yet it's such an important aspect of in terms of determining whether you get investments or not.
Correct. I mean, in general, in business, I believe in the philosophy, always be closing, so ABC, and that is the whole philosophy behind pitching. You need to be able to sell what you're doing at the end of the day, and it's not just in an environment where you're selling to investors. You need to be able to sell it to people who are buying your products or services. Ultimately, you need to be able to sell it to yourself, because if you believe in that idea or that business, then everybody else will see it quite clearly, you know.
Give us that website address again.
It is www.nativedecor.co.za for Native Decor, and then the Firstwatch Entrepreneur competition is on www.firstwatchentrepreneurship.co.za.
Vusani Ravele, thank you so much for coming through to talk to us.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Watching The Agenda. Let's take a break.